no way to survive this.
What's going on, guys? Cooked here, bringing another Monster Hunter World video. In this video, we'll be looking at this awesome jet-powered greatsword. But before we do that,
look at me, sure. Look at me, sure. I'm the captain now.
laugh at that because you get it. I look like the commander with the hair. Yeah. Anyway, getting back to the video, I do have a couple of builds for this weapon. By a couple, I mean like 20, because I couldn't figure out exactly how I wanted to build this and what I was willing to sacrifice and what I wanted on the build. But I have a couple of variations here, and by a couple, I mean 2, that I will be sharing with you today. Now, the first one here, as you can see there, we just crit on our True Charge Slash for $7.99, and that's pretty good. So I don't have any augments on the weapon, so this is just raw weapon with the build. So that can be pushed even higher depending on how you augment it. But yeah, so this first build here is more centered around having handicraft and having that white sharpness, kind of innately on the weapon instead of going for the protective polish, which the second one does. Now, I think that the second build in general is better, but I'm just lazy. I don't like to, have to sharpen every time before I engage a monster and have to worry about, that protective polish running out and then being into blue sharpness basically immediately after. So I really like this one because it has a hefty bar of white sharpness, as you can see there. And but yeah, let's hop into this first build here and we'll see what we have going on. So of course we have the Wyvern Ignition Impact, the Wyvern Ignition Impact, and I don't have any augments on this like I'd mentioned before, but what I would put on this one would be affinity and then probably a health regen, I think, just to be able to stay on the monster a little bit more and obviously boost that affinity. Then we have our Handicraft Charm level 3. It still does work with 2 Handicraft, but optimally you want 3. Grand King Eye Patch. Then we have our Damascus Male Beta, our Diablos Nero Greaves Beta. Then we have our Nier Gigante Coil Beta. Then we have lastly our Nier Gigante Greaves Beta. So as far as the tools go, I would recommend running the Rocksteady and the Affinity Booster. I'll probably switch out the Affinity Booster though once I do get that augment on there, because 75% chance to crit is good enough for me. But yeah, let's take a look at the decorations that we have on here, which are quite a few. So we have 2 attack jewels here, boosting our attack. Then we have 2 critical jewels as well, boosting our crits a little bit. And then we have slotted in 4 expert jewels to boost our affinity to 15%. And then we have the Tenderizer Jewel and the Elementalist Jewel. So once we bring all of that sweet goodness together, well, let's see what we got. So if you were to have the augment, like I said, 75% chance to crit, good bar of white sharpness, and pretty decent defense as well. Then we have our attack boost level 4. And then we have our critical eye level 4, our weakness exploit level 3, focus level 3, handicraft level 3, and then we have our critical boost level 2, maximum might level 1, and then non-elemental boost. So yeah, that's this build here. This is the one I like to run, like I was saying, because of the white sharpness, but I have another one with a lot higher crit, and this one probably is the better of the 2, but I'll let you guys judge that for yourselves. So taking a look here, just going to take a look at the decorations right away. So we have 2 attack jewels still on the sword, and that gives us attack boost level 5, critical eye 4, weakness exploit 3, focus 3, maximum might 3, protective polish, and non-elemental boost. So you can change the charger jewel. If you don't need level 3 focus, you can change that to critical jewel. I like having level 3 focus, especially, the level 3 gives you an extra 10% on the speed of your charging. But, it's up to you. If you can live with 2, then you can put on the charger or the critical boost jewel and do a little bit more damage. But honestly, I would leave in the focus and then just have a bunch of crit. So you'll see in the gameplay footage here that we're hitting for a little bit less, but we're critting almost every time. There's really high crit on this build, and it also gave me the idea as well. I made a second one of these swords just so that I could augment it a little bit differently. Because with this one, I don't think it's necessary, at least for this build, it's not necessary to run affinity, because your affinity's already at it's already at 85%, right? So, you know, 95, yeah, that's great, that's nice. You're definitely going to be critting. It's almost 100% that you're going to be critting. But I feel like 85 is good enough, and then I'd probably just put 2 attack augments on it. So yeah, as you can see there in the corner, you know, our crit's really high on this build. And we also have the added bonus of the 3-piece near Gigante, so we have a little bit of health regen as well. I know it's not as good as the augment slot one, but you know, it's still some health regen. Like, you're gonna be able to stay on the monster a little bit more. But this brings me to my problem with this build. As you can see now, we've run out of protective polish in that short time, and we are into, you know, just using the weapon normally. And after about 2 combos there, we're already at half the sharpness. So it's not great. Like, I know that you can, you know, use the wet fish fins or whatever it's called and sharpen up super quick, but I just prefer to have the bar of sharpness there. So I decided to go after a tempered pickle monster dude, and it's a pretty fun fight. Whoever was running the hunting horn, kudos to you, because you are the real MVP. Let me play like an asshole and heal me up while I run in there and get smacked around a little bit. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the build. If you do have any comments or suggestions on how I could build this a little bit differently, or what you would do, don't hesitate to leave them in the comments, and I will definitely take a look at that to consider. But if you did enjoy the video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. This has been Cooked, and I'll see you all in the next tasty episode.